I don't know if she's changed her name since the last time I was doing. Oh, that's Rampage. She is not. Formerly Little Miss Rampage. Several other Derby promotions.
We got Mel Malice fighting back there in the back of the pack. Ooh. That was a pretty rough hit to the outside from Mel, but Mel's definitely trying to make her way through back there, through the back of the pack there, Bacon.
Solid defense. Penalty called on Dottie Disaster. Still no lead jammer.
I think we're about to get a point score. There we go, Mel Malice from the Sheilas.
Rampage now free and in scoring position, but Mel Malice making it all the way through and calling that jam. And a directional block called.
Bacon, there's already quite a few penalties here going. It looks like this is definitely going to be one of those tougher games of the night. I'm glad this crowd definitely stayed around. I know we got a big storm going on out there. This third game is definitely going to be what I'm going to call probably the better game of the night.
You would. 4-0. Sheila's over the Sirens. Jam 2. Nice hit. Nice hit from Noogies. A directional block called an electrocute. Heading to the box.
There's definitely a lot of strategic play up there at the front from the Sheilas, definitely holding that wall down at the front. You have the legendary Mamba up front holding it down.
T-Bone Trina, lead jammer. Toucan slam on the pivot turn. Another directional block called. But on who is a mystery. Noogies. The directional block was on Noogies.
Noogies definitely coming from that WFTDA gameplay there, Bacon. It's a little bit different than playing USARs. You know, you can't go in the opposite direction, nor can you make a hit in the counterclockwise direction.
That's at least the third penalty. We have a false start. But we're going to keep going anyways. And the Sheila's jammer takes lead. That's Mel Malice. Rampage on her heels.
Even with that confusion, there is still a lot going on that track. Rampage is definitely right behind her there, Bacon. A small lead change going on there, but Mel Malice with the call off.
26.5 minutes to go in the first period. Sheila's lead 6-2 over the Deadly Sirens. Mamba will be wearing the star on the jam line versus Bomb Pop. One Sheila in the box and a timeout called for some reason.
And Bacon with that timeout, let's not forget that 50-50 raffle. I know we got some wonderful FCRD players walking around here. Make sure you stop and grab them. Grab that 50-50 because they will be drawing for that. And what I'm guessing is going to be halftime.
That's a good guess, Luke. The 50-50 raffle will be at halftime.
We're here behind us, Bacon, trying to get us in trouble.
Is that who that is? Still on a timeout. And we're back.
You definitely got two of your seasoned veterans out there with Bomb Pop and Black Mamba for your jammers. Black Mamba out first in that point scoring position. We still don't have anybody from the Sirens breaking out. It looks like we got a pivot going to the box for the Sirens. That leaves Bomb Pop out there and a call off there, Bacon.
That is Manny Petty in the box. Sheilas now lead 14-5. Picking up 4 more points on that jam. Sirens will send Rampage to the line against Mel Malice, jamming for the Sheilas.
It's a pretty fast pack up there with Ginger up front for the Sheilas controlling that pack. But we do have a breakout by Mel Malice.
Rampage right behind her. Both packs racing.
And we've got a lead change by Rampage. Dizzy Aster up there up front controlling that pack for the Sirens, while your lovely wife is out there controlling that pack for the Sheilas. Nice jam.
That would be Baby Buster. Two points picked up by the Sheilas on that jam. 16-6. Just under 24 minutes to play in the first period. Electrocute jamming against T-Bone Trina. Still in the pack, Electrocute taking lead.
Electrocute with those big juking moves on that outside to get that lead jammer, but we do have a breakout from the Deadly Sirens.
And Electrocute calls that off after getting stopped.
Bacon, it looks like we do have a penalty for the Sirens with a player going to the box. That's going to leave them a little bit short.
That would be Firewire with another directional blocking penalty. 18-6.
Bacon, this is a little bit closer game than we really expected it to be. The Sheilas are definitely fighting. They definitely need those points to compete with those lovely lethals.
Anita Hertscha jamming for the Sheilas. For the Sirens, Rampage. Everybody stuck in the pack.
You definitely got a great 2-wall up front with those Sheilas, with Baby Buster being that trailer in the back, just stuffing that Sirens jammer.
Still no lead.
And there we go. We got Anita for the Sheilas with that lead jammer.
Manny Petty is free.
And the call off by Anita with a few points there.
That would be 2 points. 2 points for the Sheilas, 20-6.
You know, in a slow game like this, Bacon, it's better to get a few, call it off, and just move it on to the next jam so you can rest those jammers and those point scores, that's for sure.
A lot of skating, a lot of forward motion.
Yeah, definitely a lot of skating and a lot of forward motion in this gameplay, that's for sure.
Less stopping.
Boo for stopping.
A derby of sorts. That's Electrocute jamming for the Sheilas. Noogies trailing the pack. That'll be Bomb Pop jamming for the Sirens and getting knocked out of bounds by Mamba. Electrocute in the box, so no jammer for the Sheilas.
What a hit by Black Mamba up front. This is probably one of the faster packs we've seen of the night, Bacon, especially with that jammer in the box for the Sheilas.
Speaking of that, the Sheilas jammer now out of the box.
She still has that ability to be our lead jammer for tonight.
Well, for this jam.
Yeah, definitely for this jam.
Not the entire evening.
Newbie here.
That's a
Noobs.
lot. That would be a lot of pressure
skating
to put on somebody. The whole evening. This jam's going all the way. That's 2 minutes. It's a long jam.
Full jam without any points. What a jam. It looks like those zebras need to have a little bit of a discussion. That's going to give both teams some chance to coordinate, reset their time, take a deep breath. Definitely give those point scores some time to rest.
Breathing, very important. All right, 19 minutes, 12 seconds remaining. An official timeout. What do you think they're talking about?
I think they're talking about how great this third announcing crew is and what a good job we've done not saying any curse words yet.
Don't jinx it, buddy. Don't jinx it. But they're surely not talking about that. We're not on tape delay, right? We're live. Live as can be. They call this living. All right. I wonder if the refs will come over and tell us what they're timeouting about.
Absolutely not. This is definitely not a playoff tournament. We're never going to know what goes on, but that is fine.
Well, it's an information-based business. That's what this is. All right, back to it. That's Electrocute on the line versus Rampage. And the Deadly Sirens are down one skater. Can Mel Malice take advantage?
Electrocute to the outside, but you had that Sirens pivot just stuffing her on the outside.
That would be Mel Malice. Mel Malice.
Mel Malice with lead, but you got that Sirens pivot right behind her.
Manny Petty pulling pivot duty. Did she call it off in time?
And that'll do it for that jam for Mel Malice.
She did not.
You know, Bacon, what I love about this rule set is anybody can be lead jammer once they make it out. It's not just one and done. It's nice that that pivot can break, come back around, and potentially take over that point scoring position for that lead jammer.
It's more democratic that way. Opportunities for days. 22-9. T-Bone Trina jamming for the Deadly Sirens. And picking up lead. Mamba taking the pivot turn right behind her. tends to keep the scoring down.
The Sirens are definitely doing a fantastic job. Wow, what a call-off. Nice job for those deadly Sirens.
Picking up 2 points. Sheilas lead 22-11, 17 and a half minutes to play. Mel Malice will be back on the jam line for Rampage. Penalty box is clear. So a full complement of skaters for Jam 10. Anita pivoting for the Sheilas. Manny Petty once again pivoting for the Deadly Sirens.
Anita's definitely up there skating backwards, hunting that jammer coming through the pack. However, Rampage breaks out for your lead jammer.
Pack slows way down. Can Rampage call it off before? Yes. Well,
Ooh,
no.
I think you're wrong there, Bacon.
I said,
think
could
Anita
she?
got up there.
I said, could she? Two points for the Sheilas. The art of calling off the jam. Electrocute back on the jam line for the Sheilas against Bomb Pop. Penalty box still empty as the epidemic of directional blocking has seemed to have ceased.
For now. That is
For
definitely
now.
for now. You definitely have the legendary Bomb Pop out there. She normally plays for those bashers, but joining the Sirens tonight.
Electrocute lead jammer for the Sheilas.
Bomb Pop's right on her heels, trying to turn that tide. She takes over that lead jammer position. Unfortunately, Bomb Pop gets that cut track yield and could not call it off at the time. And there's the call off from Bomb Pop. Little confusion there, but definitely made it happen.
2 points picked up by the Sirens. 1 point for the Sheilas, 25-13.
Looks like Bomb Pop's having some discussions out there with the refs, which she's not supposed to do from her coach.
That's censorship, man.
Uh-oh, I think I got in trouble by Thunder. There's one.
You're in big trouble, Luke. Rampage jamming for the Deadly Sirens. Mel Malice taking the inside and taking it quickly.
Mel Malice with lead jammer. However, you have that Sirens pivot with the breakout right on her heels. Those Sirens creating a pretty solid wall there in the back. But unfortunately, Mel Malice through with a few points.
Well, they only had 2 blockers out there with 2 Sirens in the box, making it hard to stop that jam. T-Bone Trina will be jamming for the Deadly Sirens. Electrocute back in the rotation. Manny Petty back pivoting for the Sirens. And a false start.
Electrocute got a little bit excited there, but that's okay. She only has to start a few feet back. We'll reset those walls and get this jam back underway. Dizzy Astor back out there again in that back wall, creating a pretty solid defense with great communication. Holding Electrocute back there. Those Sirens are doing a fantastic job.
And the Sirens jammer is now in the box. I missed what the penalty was. That's going to happen a few more times.
Electrocutes with lead jammer.
One more siren going to the box. That would be Firewire.
It definitely seems to be a thing, Bacon, with quite a few players recycling through that box right now. I think they needed a break, but I don't know.
They're going to get some rest. But the Sheila's not taking advantage.
Electrocute still out front, going for some more. That front Sirens wall is definitely going to attempt to keep it pretty fast. But those Sheilas are going to try to grab a baby, slow it down, and they have done so. And with the call off, that'll do it for the Sheilas.
Four more points picked up by the Sheilas on that jam. Now a 20-point lead. Sheilas over the Sirens. We're just under 12 minutes remaining in this first period. Rampage back on the line. Jamming for the Sirens. Anita Hercha wearing the star for the Sheilas.
With Mayhem Myers sitting up front with what I believe to be that pivot panty. Anita's gonna try to stuff that pivot. But unfortunately that could not happen. We've got Anita as lead jammer with Bomb Pop right on her heels.
Bomb Pop calling it off with some good sportsmanship there with her friend Mayhem Myers. And a timeout called. Well, we're all friends here tonight. Timeout called by the Deadly Sirens for some reason or other.
The Sirens are definitely gonna take a rest. They're gonna try to stuff that momentum of the Sheilas right now as they wanna keep that point spread pretty close tonight.
Stemming the tide.
Stemming that tide. That point spread is pretty important here, Bacon, tonight. They are looking to stay within contention of those lethals as the lethals lead in next month to play the Bashers. Do you think we could do a chant like that?
The two of us?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, we have a microphone and they don't, so we could probably get away with it.
Yeah, we could do whatever we
I
want.
yeah. There's no rules. It's like an Outback Steakhouse over here.
We weren't even taught how to do this. They just threw mics at us. Your fault.
You volunteered, buddy. All right. Loving every minute of it. 18 points separating these two teams. Penalty box is empty. Mamba and Bomb Pop on the line. Toucan Slam and Manny Petty, who seems like she's pivoting every other jam.
Manny Petty has definitely really stepped up her game this year. She's definitely done very well about being very patient.
Well, she's going to get, Toucan Slam either going to the box or just hanging out all on herself.
Yep, you got to wait till that break from that jammer has happened before you can leave the pack. You may see her standing up there up front. She cannot skate backwards. She has to wait till that pack gets back to her.
Sheila's picking up 3 more points. 21-point lead for the Sheilas. Under 10 minutes to play.
Bacon, the Sirens still have plenty of time to catch up. That point spread is not enough for them to really just take this home.
We have to keep playing is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
We're gonna keep going.
We're stuck here.
And Rampage, lead jammer for the Sirens. Myers on
And-
the pivot turn. I believe her first pivoting of the evening.
Absolutely, Myers has definitely finally donned that pivot cap. And she's right on Rampage's heels.
And Rampage calls it off smartly. 3 points picked up by the Deadly Sirens. 37-19. It's an 18-point lead now for the Sheilas.
It's still anybody's game here between the Sirens and the Sheilas, Bacon.
They are going to keep on skating. That is the truth.
100%. And they're only going to skate forward, not backwards.
Well, they might skate backwards, but then they'll go to the box. Some skaters' natural habitat. Electrocute on the line against T-Bone Trina. Dopamine pivoting. Oh, directional block. Called
And there we
again
go.
for
We jinxed them.
Electrocute.
That announcer jinx.
I'm calling things into existence. Maybe I should have played the 50-50. I could say that I won that. That'd be fun. No. And T-Bone Trina taking lead and skating all by her lonesome self.
We still don't have a Sheila's breakout. It looks like they're being stuffed in the pack, and I spoke too soon. Here we go. It looks like Dopamine has broken out of the pack and will attempt to force that call.
And does. T-Bone Trina picking up 4 quick points, calling it off.
And like I said early, Bacon, those Sirens are definitely staying in it. That point spread is definitely not big enough for them to just run away with it yet.
Taking lead to 14 points. Full packs, both teams. Mel Malice, Rampage, jamming again. Anita Hercha and Firewire, the jammers, the pivots for their respective teams.
Anita's up there holding down the pack for those Sheilas. And we've got a lead jammer for the Sheilas with Mel Malice.
Nice job defending by the Sheilas, holding pivot to give Mel Malice enough time to get around, perhaps pick up 4 big points. And she calls it off, getting 4 points. Taking it back from the Sirens, 41-23, back to an 18-point game. Just over 6 minutes to play in this first period of this third game here at the Ola Rama in Independence, Missouri.
And with that, we've got Toucan up front, donning that pivot panty for the Sheilas.
It's called a head covering. That's Electrocute. Taking lead jammer for the Sheilas. Bomb pop now free. How many people can Electrocute pass before she calls it off? Nice block by Toucan Slam. And Electrocute calls it off, and there's a bit of a delay there.
But not before Bomb Cop can get through there. Did she score any points, though?
She did not. Your optimism is unwarranted.
I
But
tried.
that
I
you did.
tried to wish it into existence.
Speak it into existence. They are sending Manny Petty to the box. Missed the reason yet again. Going to tighten that up in the second half. Mel Malice on the line against Rampage. 4-on-3 pack advantage for the Sheilas. Another directional block called. This time on Anita Hercha. So the 3-on-3 blocking situation as Mel Malice, lead jammer. Firewire just now making her way out of the pack. Mel Malice, an excellent opportunity to pick up a few more points.
Oh, here we go. Firewire gonna attempt to make Mel call that jam.
She tried to call it and was not allowed to, so now Firewire.
Firewire has taken the lead with the call off for those deadly Sirens.
So 3 points picked up by each team. Skating to a draw, as we call that. 46-26, 20-point lead for the Sheilas. 4 minutes to play. Here in the first period, one Sheila in the box. What's in the box? One Sheila, as it turns out. It's a happier ending than the movie I'm referencing. All right, T-Bone Trina on the line against Mamba. Dopamine pivoting to nowhere at the moment.
The Sheilas have had a pretty clean game thus far, but unfortunately, they've definitely sent a few to the box in those last few jams.
This isn't Nom. There are rules. Mamba trying to take the inside. Does not make it. Having to wait now. Wait. Back.
With Noogies up there up front there, Bacon. That was a tough look for anybody trying to get through the pack there.
A legendary blocker in her own right. Tough Noogies.
The Sheilas definitely have a solid 3-wall up front.
Okay. Earlier we talked about them not slowing down so much. This jam, the exception that proves the rule.
They are still moving forward, so there will be no penalties called here. And there they go.
White hot derby action.
Black Mamba with more scores right
heat
there.
Of any color, actually. A rainbow heat. Mamba still has lead.
Cut track yield there for the Sirens. Unfortunately, it stalled that momentum.
That was a long jam. It was a long jam. The full 2 minutes.
It looks like we have one person heading to the box.
1 point for the Sheilas.
Yes.
One Siren in the box. Now there's 2 in the box and a timeout called. I wonder why. We have a 2-minute warning. The 1 minute and 56 second warning, I should say. Sirens calling another timeout. How many timeouts do they get in a half?
That's a good question, Bacon, and I should know that.
You should know that.
Put me on the point.
That's a coach question.
Let's say 3.
That seems excessive. 22-point lead for the Sheilas. And competence on the mic from Luke and myself.
Bacon actually acts like I know what the rules are.
Well,
I try to stand on the wall and
don't we
act
all?
like I know what I'm doing. I really don't.
Wing it. Well, I feel better. That's what's important.
But also, Bacon, my team never has to call timeouts.
I blame
Nothing.
you for that.
Nothing.
I blame you.
There were crickets.
I blame you for that. They did put 8 seconds back on the clock. We're now at 2:06. Actually, they put 10 seconds back.
It looks like Thunder is definitely having some words over there with the coach from the Sirens. I sure would love to know what they're saying. Bacon, what do you think they're saying?
I don't know. I can't read lips.
I can't see them at all, so.
Well, that's... Couple of pros. High praise. That's high praise. All right, back to the action. Mel Malice jamming its Rampage. Rampaging her way all the way to the lead jammer position.
Mayhem Myers right on her heels as that pivot break. Can she catch Rampage and turn the tide for the Sheilas in this jam?
Ginger Ninja took a little stumble, which allowed Rampage to keep up, and the crowd goes wild.
And the side eye from Mayhem Myers as she passes these amazing commentators up here.
That's right. No obscene gestures, though. So she's growing as a person and a skater, and that's what's important.
Shocking.
All right, 1 point picked up by the Deadly Sirens. 21-point lead for the Sheilas as we have 1 minute remaining in the period. Jam number 24, Electrocute and Bomb Pop, jamming for their teams. Sheila's wall up front.
You call the wall up front with the Sheilas, but I'm going to call that amazing green wall in the back is insanely deadly right now with Noogies with the big hits on Electrocute.
So big it earned her a penalty. Maybe a forearm, can't
Worth it.
tell. Gotta tighten that up.
The Sheilas are going to try to run that pack up front. Unfortunately, when they do that, that makes it a little bit more difficult for Electrocute, but that did not stop her from scoring points on that jam. She's definitely going to go for more bacon here. She has great endurance.
Going for more bacon, that sounds delightful. She should take as many points as possible. And calls it off. Did she do it in time?
A huge jam for the Sheilas.
And that takes us to halftime.
And with halftime bacon, this is all of our time here to ensure that we get that last chance for the 50-50. So make sure that you check around the facility here for a lovely FCR. Second half of the Sheilas Sirens game.
We made it all the way through intermission.
Barely.
Harrowing.
Barely.
24-point lead. The Deadly Sirens need to chip away.
It's still an insanely close game. That's what's great about the USAR's rule set, is it's pretty difficult between two good teams to really spread those points apart. And it looks like the Sirens have taken the lead with the Sheilas right on her heels with Anita as that pivots.
It's mostly just the roster.
Anita's gonna hunt from the back and attempt to make that call off with Anita with a lead change. Nice job from the Sheilas.
4 points though, 55-27. Sheila's starting the second half with the bang. Not a shotgun bang.
You know, Bacon, I think we need these pants over here for the after party at Saints.
I think those are spoken.
Oh, it looks like it. I think I can pull them off, though I like shorts better.
Inside baseball. All right, Rampage coming up. Blocked out of bounds.
Wow, by Mamba with a big hit to the outside on Rampage. I have taken a hit like that from Mamba, and it is not pleasant at all.
Finally making her way through the back. Lead jam.
Still no point score break from the Deadly Sirens. Mamba sitting up front, skating backwards with a big hit.
Three-hand slam. Slamming Rampage, who is now free for the first time.
Dizzy Asser with the big offense up front.
3 more points for the Sheilas. 7 run. Second half. 31 points.
Bacon, those Sheilas definitely know they got a big point spread to make up on those lethals if they want to be in any sort of contention. I'm just putting the pressure on. I really don't know what I'm talking about.
Way to admit. And at home.
Huge Sheilas wall up front with Mayhem Myers leading the way as that pivot. Out of play up front with Bomb Pop as lead jammer.
Jam Annihilation going to the box. Myers on the pivot.
Lead change.
Jammer change. And back to Bomb Pop. A lot of changing going on.
That is very difficult for your weak announcers up here to tell who is in the lead.
That would have been Bomb Pop. Bomb Pop calling it off. But 3. She's only a 1 point game overall.
Black Mamba is finally
Need all the
donning
help we can get.
that jammer star for the Sheilas with Rampage
4.5 at best.
for the Sirens. And it's Rampage for the Sirens with lead jammer.
Dopamine taking the pivot turn. Can the Sirens skate fast enough to get some points out of this?
Mamba immediately leads that fast pack in the back to ensure that none of those Sirens can catch up. This is a very strategic play, Bacon, because it ensures that those Sirens can't score points.
And with that lead, the clock is their friend, even though there are 25.5 minutes to play. But this rule set does make it hard to score points in bunches. And Rampage calls it off. Let's see.
There is definitely lots of confusion out there from those Sheilas.
A land
Mama's
of
definitely
confusion.
letting that bench know what's going on.
So 4 points for the Sheilas.
It looks like they're attempting to call a timeout from the Sheilas.
They have switched benches, as they do at half.
Bacon,
Mamba-
there is a lot of pointing going on from that Sheila's bench with Mamba to her coach.
Nobody likes being pointed at.
Not only is Mamba a great player, she is also a great referee and definitely knows the rule set.
It's important. I should work on that.
I should as well.
Yeah. That's right, coach.
One day, Bacon. I think that's why I started playing again, so I could really understand the rules. I can't see very well, but it was a great education on the rule set.
So are there official challenges in the USAR's rule set?
100%. They're definitely discussing that last jam. And what I think is going to be told to us by the refs, maybe. Thunder did promise that. I have a feeling it could be a potential broken promise, though.
All right. 1 point picked up by the Sirens on that. So another 3-point swing in favor of the Sheilas. Now a 34-point game. Mel Malice on the jam line. T-Bone Trina jamming for the Sirens.
There's definitely a lot going on in that pack with those Sirens trying to stuff Mel Malice. It's definitely anybody's jam right now of who is going to be lead jammer. You have Anita, Buster, and Myers holding down that pack up front with those Sheilas, but it is T-Bone Trina with that lead jammer.
And Mel Malice out of the pack right behind her. The Sirens pack lagging behind. Trina most likely going to have to call it.
Once again, Anita is leading the back of that Sheila's pack to keep it fast, to ensure that nobody from those Sirens can pick them off. The crowd is definitely going wild for this jam. And a call off from Mel Malice.
Four more points picked up by the Sheilas. 2 points for the Sirens, so another 2-point swing in favor of the Sheilas.
And there was definitely a penalty down there for the Sirens.
An
one in the
undisclosed
box.
penalty. Electrocute jamming against Rampage. 4-on-3 pack advantage in favor of the Sheilas.
You know, Bacon, I'm pretty impressed with Rampage. She's definitely done a lot of jammer rotation tonight. We definitely saw that in the Lethals game against the Pains with those back-to-back jams and those every others. With Rampage from the Sirens as lead jammer.
Two-can slam on the pivot turn. And Rampage slamming into Electrocute. And two-can slam slipping all the way through, now in lead. And deciding she's gonna skate after a 4-point pass.
Wow, with the big hits. Those Sheilas are definitely holding down that back line. With Rampage having some difficulty getting through. Toucan has already made it back through that pack there, Bacon.
It's a big jam for two-can slam and the Sheilas. And calling it off.
And with Toucan with those big points.
That's 6.
Wow, nice job for those Sheilas.
6-point jam. 2 points picked up for the Sirens. So a 4-point swing in favor of the Sheilas. It's a 40-point game. Sheilas slowly, methodically extending their lead. As we have 21 and a half minutes to play in the second half.
It looks like Anita has taken off that pivot panty and switched over to that jammer cover
Bomb
for
pop.
those Sheilas.
Bomb pop jamming for the Sirens. Both
Mayhem.
pivots up front.
Mayhem Myers up front holding down that pack. And Anita is out with that lead jammer for the Sheilas. It looks like we have a pivot break for those Sirens. Anita's making a big fight with a cut track yield for Anita, having to recycle all the way to the back. That is definitely probably one of my favorite rules of this rule set, is you're not immediately sent to the box. You get to yield, reset yourself, and get to try again.
And another timeout.
Thunder with her hands up with a discussion.
An official timeout.
It looks like they want to huddle all of the coaches together.
I was told someone would come tell us what it was.
That will probably not happen. There is a big discussion over there with the coaches. I've definitely been in a mix with that before. It is not pleasant because both teams are probably doing something bad and both teams are probably getting in trouble right now. Or
You're both sidesing this whole issue. is
they
what you're
could,
doing.
hey, I gotta be strategic here because I don't want to get in trouble.
That's the way to hot announcing action. Both sidesing it to always come out on top. Black Mamba on the line against Rampage. Penalty box is clear. Full packs and full hearts with a 40-point lead for the Sheilas.
Once again, it is definitely Rampage and Mamba out there jamming to a little Morgan Wallen, which I am definitely down for.
The world's greatest karaoke party going on here at Olarama.
It looks like we
Captain
got a pretty
Luke.
solid pivot battle up there at the front. Not a lot of teamwork going on. They're definitely letting those jammers fend for themselves right now.
Zombina going to the box. 4-on-3, pack advantage for the Sheilas.
Rampage from that juke to the outside of the inside with lead jammer for the Sirens.
Dopamine on the pivot turn. Can Rampage score some points?
Dottie back there communicating with her teammates of how she wants Rampage to enter that pack. Wow, with a big hit from the Sheilas.
Dopamine taking out Ankle Biter, but both back on their skates.
Zombina definitely had some time to return to the pack from that penalty box, and a big jam for both teams.
Both teams picking up 2 points. The lead remains the same, and some shouting and screaming going on, getting Buster off of the track. 4-on-3 pack advantage for the Sirens. Mel Malice.
Mel with the big slip off the front, but still maneuvering her way through the back of the pack.
The Sirens jammer playing some defense. So we're just killing clock here.
Definitely a lot of strategic walls right there in the middle of the pack by the Sirens. You got 3 Sirens out there trying to stuff Mel on the outside. Myers up front, directing the pack. However, we got Mel Malice as your lead jammer.
Manny Petty taking a big spill right in front of the announcer's table.
But they did not spill my drinks.
Well, lots of talent on display tonight.
With Manny Petty. T-Bone Trina killing it.
Getting closer all the time.
Hey, don't put a blind guy up here. That's a
4
bad idea.
points. So the Sirens getting back on the board.
Who do we have out there, Bacon? Jamming, is that Electrocute?
And Rampage.
Rampage.
Toucan Slam and Firewire pivoting. Will it matter?
With Electrocute as your lead jammer.
Sheila's Wall's doing a great job keeping both the jammer and the pivot inside.
Zombina with the massive turnarounds for the trailer to stuff that pivot.
Toucan Slam knocking the pivot back into her own jammer.
Bacon, this second half has definitely been a lot more fierce. Dizzy Astor up front, driving the bus for the Sirens, communicating with their team all the way in the back.
But Electrocute's going to the box.
That will allow for the Sirens to attempt to run this up.
They only have 30 seconds left in the jam, so they need to get on it. Will they?
A big spill down there, close to that penalty box with some Sirens and some Sheilas, and that will do it for that jam.
Packs are slowing down a little bit here as we come to the halfway point of the second half. 2 points picked up by the Sirens, but they're going to get more than 2 points every 2 minutes to get back in this one. We have one skater for each team in the box. 3-on-3 packs. Mel Malice, Bomb Pop, jamming. Anita and Manny
Mel
Petty.
Malice with your lead jammer.
Manny Petty right on her, so it'll be a quick jam and a forearm penalty from Mel Malice.
And Mel Malice to the box. This will leave Manny Petty to run up that score there, Bacon.
And she's going to the box as well and throwing the helmet panty in protest. That's not an actual move, is it?
It is not. But this is a very rare occurrence within the USAR's rule set.
Seems dangerous to have the helmet cover on the track.
I mean, as a roller rink owner, I don't want anything on the
Did you
track.
sign the waiver? I did not sign a waiver
I didn't
tonight.
sign a waiver.
I didn't sign a waiver either. So there is a lead, Jammer. It appears to be Bomb Pop. There are 25 seconds left in the, she calls it off. Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. Why not?
The refs with
right?
their hands on their knees trying to figure out what's going on in the center of the track there. Thunder waving her arms with the other guy putting his hands on his hips.
I believe Coach Beetlejuice calling for quorum. I don't know if that's how that works. 2 points picked up in that mess of a jam by the Sirens. 30-point lead. And another official timeout. So we have time to talk about how we're feeling.
I think we should talk about that after party at Saints Pub.
And patio. I'm not sure if the patio will be open tonight.
Yeah, it
in
might
a
be
monsoon.
flooded.
Maybe they have a wave pool that I'm not aware of.
I heard they have really good fear
Fear?
of water and flooding.
An oceans of fun it is not. Can you believe we do this for free? I can't. All right. 13 and a half minutes to play here. I have no idea what the official timeouting is about.
But Bacon, that's what they get for getting us to announce.
And again, I'm not in charge. Sorry, that would have been muted.
They should have definitely not have got us to announce while we were at a Royals game having some libations.
Well, it was, we do our best. So we're not sure who was active, but points were scored.
Or were they? That's
You're getting residuals.
exactly what those zebras are talking about.
Irritating Irish helping us out.
But what I've learned, Bacon, if it's not in the rules, then it's penalty.
I'm not sure if that's how that works. It looks like when we get back to the action, they're going to have Dizzy Astor jamming.
This would
Against
definitely be
Electrocute.
Dizzy's first jam of the night.
It would be, but I have seen her jam before, and she just jams and jams and jams. And she's going to keep on jamming until the jam is over.
I mean, if I was that Sirens coach, I would definitely have Dizzy Astor jam back to back. Or at least every other.
Every other jam. Well, the penalty box will probably still be empty. Can they call penalties during an official review? Is that
Maybe.
legal?
But I think Dizzy just proved that if roller derby is not her calling, she is going to join artistic skating.
Well, isn't all skating technically art? Don't answer that. All right, an official review, still trying to figure out what being active's all about.
They definitely are trying to figure out what active is all about. But, Bacon, they're probably not going to tell us, again, what this discussion is about.
They will not.
I don't want to get I want to have some fun.
Boy Scouts. Boy Scouts, here comes Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy's going to give us the call.
The official review is
Yes. Go ahead.
the official review is the fact that
All right, we have a lot to tell you and not a lot of time to do it in. So, when Manny Petty threw her panty on the ground in protest, they should have blown it dead. They did not. The jam continued. There will be no points scored. We are all smarter for having heard this.
And time has been served. Nice job, Jimmy. Thank you.
Great job, Jimmy.
Giving that information.
That's the kind of outside pack reffing that you can really get behind. Rampage will now be on the jam line, so Dizzy Astor teasing us by standing on the jam line. But it will be Rampage and Electrocute and a full pack of blockers for each team.
Dizzy has definitely switched back to what she's very good at, and that is directing the pack in the back and leading her team. This is an extremely fast pack up front with those two pivots jockeying for position up front. That Sirens pivot is way far up front.
That would be Firewire.
With Rampage on the outside with no Sheilas looking, and that will give her lead jammer.
Mamba right behind her. So how many points can Rampage get?
Electrocute will shift back to the back and join that blocker line. Dizzy Astor with that big hit on Mamba to the outside as that jam was being called. Great positioning towards the end for the Sirens.
1 point picked up by Rampage and the Sirens. As time just keeps on slipping with 12 minutes left in the game. 33-point lead for the Sheilas. Mel Malice on the jam line against T-Bone Trina.
T-Bone with a massive jam last time. And unopposed on the outside for lead jammer. Mel Malice right on her heels.
That would be Anita.
Sorry,
Anita Hercha.
Anita. See, you know, Anita doesn't like to jam, and I'm going to take notes for that for Travel Team. Wow, great jockeying for position for Anita in the back of the pack there to score some points for the Sheilas.
It was a 4-point jam for the Sirens, but I want to say 3 points picked up by the Sheilas, because that's what it was. So all that, but only 1 point shaved off that lead.
You know, Bacon, I'm glad to have your eyes here for my first announced job, and probably my last.
Heck of a job, Luke. Heck of a job, buddy. Coming off the bench. That would be Rampage jamming against Black Mamba. And Mamba makes her way through. Firewire pivoting into scoring position.
Firewire is definitely right on Mamba's heels. Ooh, did Firewire score some points there, Bacon?
Two
Wow.
points apiece.
2-2, nice jam for both teams. That's definitely some fights from the Sirens.
Lead stays at 32, 10 minutes remaining in the game. Bomb Pop chatting it up with Anita on the jam line. Penalty box is clear.
Once again, Anita jamming for the Sheilas. That's going to be noted for Travel Team.
Big
Going down
hit
on the inside.
by Manny Petty, who
But Bob Pop up front for the Sirens for lead jammer.
Manny Petty struggling to the penalty box. And Mel Malice makes it back up, calls it off. 4-point jam.
One day I will get these jammers right.
Then you'll get a big raise.
A big raise of
Huge
0.
raise. You're going to double that. Double your zeros with Rampage on the jam line against Electrocute. Penalty box now clear.
You know, Bacon, Rampage has had a high percentage of lead jammer tonight. Let's see if she can carry that over.
High percentage of jams as well. A lot of stamina involved in keeping it rolling. Electrocute, finding a second win, taking lead for the Sheilas.
However, Rampage is out, right on her heels. No need for that pivot up front.
And Electrocute taking a couple extra seconds to call it off. Did she allow Rampage to slip in and score some points?
Rampage definitely had her hands on her hips too, thinking that she might have been lead jammer as well.
Well, Rampage picking up 4. So doing the work.
Definitely a big jam for that Sirens. They're definitely keeping it close.
Well, they shaved 1 point off that lead. 35-point lead for the Sheilas, pretty consistent throughout the second half. Bomb Pop jamming against Mel Malice. We have 7 minutes and 40 seconds to play. Clock on the side of the Sheilas.
Ooh, Noogie's up front trying to go after Mel. Sucking her back into the pack.
But
unfortunately, that does leave lead jammer to Mel Malice.
Well, Bomb Pop and Noogie's in the box, so the jammer and a blocker as a 4-on-2.
T-Bone Trina right on her heels. Big apex jump with a fall, but back up and calls it off.
Four more points picked up for the Sheilas and Mel Malice. Coming up on the century mark, 1 point for the Deadly Sirens.
I'm pretty disappointed, Bacon, in the heckle game by the crowd back here. They like to sit in the back.
They seem to be loving it. 6.5 minutes to play.
Small fall there by Dizzy Astor in the back, but
Rampage back jamming and back in lead. Mamba right behind her, though. Can Bomb Pop catch up to the pack? She can.
Rampage right back into that pack to score some points for the Sirens.
Got that. All right. 1 point.
I'll try not to die over here, Bacon.
Aren't we all? All right, 37 points. Separating the teams. Mel Malice back on the jam line, smiling still. Bomb Pop, fresh out of the penalty box. I guess that was from 2 jams ago. I should let it go.
Never. Shame for all the penalties. Mel Malice is definitely fighting in the back against Tough Noogies, which is definitely something difficult to do.
So at this point,
It looks like Ginger is heading to the box for the Sheilas with another person serving another penalty with a pivot cap back there. Woo! Lots of big hits with Myers and T-Bone. However, it looks like we have lead jammer for Bomb Pop.
winding up the crowd. This jam may go the full 2 minutes. Myers knocking her out of bounds, so she can't call it off, and that was short-lived. But a big jam for the Deadly Sirens.
A huge knockout there from Myers on Bomb Pop. Definitely making sure that she couldn't go around for another point-scoring pass.
Well, picking up 3. Sheila's 98, Sirens 64. Electrocute will be jamming against Manny Petty. Full packs, both teams. 4 minutes remaining. Barring something cataclysmic.
Interestingly enough, I see little Ms. Rampage back there in the middle of the pack doing some blocking. However, it looks like Electrocute for the Sheilas is lead jammer. However, Bacon, it looks like Dizzy Aster is right on her heels with that pivot break for the Sirens.
3.5 minutes. And Electrocute calls it off. 1 point picked up by the Sheilas. 34-point lead with 3 minutes to go. Getting further out of reach. And we have a timeout called. A team timeout this time.
But Bacon, with that timeout, that gives us some time to shout out that after party at Saints Pub and potentially flooded patio.
Maybe it's covered. Maybe it's a covered patio.
Could be.
I haven't been. Maybe next time. 22-0. That's 20220 East Jackson Price in Independence. Following this game, everyone's invited. We'll see what happens. Timing out, getting a break. Can the Sheilas cross the century mark? It's about the last question to answer. Although I have some questions for my agent, but that's a whole different story. When we get back, T-Bone Trina will be jamming against Mel Malice.
Mel Malice has definitely been out there a lot tonight, definitely looking for that Points Pony Award that is ever coveted by way too many people in this league.
The Points Pony, is that what it's called?
It is definitely the Points Pony. I've only heard it 1,000 times. However, Mel Malice with that lead jammer. Myers once again holding down that front. However,
Wire.
T
Escaping
is
as
gonna
the pivot.
hold it back.
And Baby Buster heading to the box. Never heard of that.
Never, ever, not once has Baby Buster been to the box. T-Bone Tina did a fantastic job switching from that jammer position to the blocker position.
The penalty box is Baby Buster's natural habitat. That's where I'll be going later, my own personal penalty box.
When you have to sleep on the couch.
That's right. But at least it's indoors. All right. Black Mamba will be jamming against Rampage, who just can't help herself. 4-on-3 pack advantage in favor of the Deadly Sirens. Will it matter?
Wow, with a big hit on Dottie. However, Dottie did a great job holding Mamba back on that inside line. Dizzy Aster with a big hit on Mamba. Mamba's doing some big fighting. However, Little Miss Rampage is lead jammer. Mamba has made it out of that pack for the Sheilas. However, Rampage is already back and in point scoring position. It looks like Irish was making that call off.
I don't think that's legal. But with 1 minute remaining in the contest, we are coasting in for a landing.
We've done great here.
We have done great. If
We
I
haven't
do
got yelled at. Thunder
say-
hasn't given us any dirty looks yet. It's been fantastic.
I don't think anyone could hear me for the first 3 quarters of the game, though. So that might have something to do with it. 102-68. That's 34 points. Good sportsmanship on display. Mel Malice and Rampage. Final countdowning. No magic tricks, no illusions.
A big race up front with those pivots. However, Our jammers are still back there fighting. And once again, it is Rampage out front with your lead jammer.
Just playing for the final score. Rampage tells them to keep on skating, calls it off. 3, 2, 1, that's game. And unofficially, the Sheilas took this one home.
And
I think that's it.
with that, Bacon, that will do it for us tonight.
We call that building to a peak. 102-69 unofficially. I guess we're signing off.
We're signing off.
Signing
We'll
off.
never be
Thank
invited
you.
again.